Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to do a video that I've not done for a couple of years now, and that is talking you through what's in my camera bag. Now I'm not going to go into loads of detail on this, I'm going to keep this relatively brief, but there's been a lot of changes since I last did one of these videos, so I'm going to talk you through what's in the bag and then very briefly why it's in my bag and what I use it for. I'm not going to go into specifications and stuff like that. There's hundreds of videos on every single item that's in this bag, so you can go and check those out if you want to know more about any particular item, but all of the items will be linked down below. So firstly, the bag itself is the Lowepro ProTactic AW2. I got this bag probably about 2 years ago now, and I absolutely love it. It's rugged, really hard wearing. There's loads of these straps and things that you can attach to it. I love the look of it, with it being all black. I love the material, and yeah, it just does every single thing that I need it to. On the front of here is actually my most recent purchase. So this is a brand new tripod, I've not used it yet. This is the Benro Mach 3, the TMA 28A, with the Benro B2 ball head on. So I've always had a Manfrotto tripod, but I wanted to switch to Benro because I've used Benro tripods in studios and on jobs and been really happy with them. I also like how the B2 ball head is really small and compact, and I like that it's got an Arca style Swiss plate. And if you watch my last video where I talked about things that I want for 2022, one of those was the Peak Designs capture clip, which goes on a bag strap, and that uses an Arca style plate as well. So it means that I can take my camera straight off of my tripod and onto the capture clip, or vice versa. So really looking forward to getting some use out of this. And there's also going to be an unboxing video coming soon, because I'm really happy with a few things about this, but you'll have to wait for that video to find out what they are. So what we're going to do is unclip this and take it off, so that I can actually get into the bag itself. So if we turn it over, lie it on its back. Also, this is what's in my camera bag if I've got a big shoot. So normally it won't be quite as heavy as this. This has got pretty much everything that I'll take if it's like a wedding or a full day campaign or a couple of days shoot, something like that. So if we open up the back, I do like that you open it from the back and not the front as well, just for security. If we open up the back and lift it up, in this side here, underneath this zip, we have my MacBook. So I've got the 13-inch MacBook M1 Air. So because I've got an iMac at home, I didn't feel that I needed the Pro, because I do things like video editing and stuff on there. But I just wanted something that was lightweight, portable, but fast enough for me to be able to edit if and when I need to. Also, if I'm in a studio and I'm tethering or anything like that, having something that I could take with me. I did previously use the iPad Pro, but tethering with the iPad Pro it's doable, but it's nowhere near as easy as when you've got it linked up to a MacBook. So yeah, the MacBook Air 13-inch with the M1 chip. The M1 chip is unreal, honestly. You can tell that it's been designed by Apple for Apple. In these two pockets here, in this first one, I just have like dongles and stuff. So this is a 5-way dongle where I can put USB, USB-C and HDMI in. And then I've got just a standard SD card holder so that I can plug in. And then I've got a couple of USB to USB-C dongles here so that I can plug external hard drives and stuff into my MacBook. Oh, nearly. And then next one down, I've just got a notebook and pen. So I always like to have a notebook on me, a notebook and pen, and then just a cleaning cloth. So we can lie that down now. And now we get into the meat of the bag. So if I lift this up, you can see everything has its own place. It took me a while to get a divider set up that I liked and that I was happy with, but this is how it is now. So if we start at the top and work our way down, right up at the top, I do keep this section quite empty even though it's a big section. I don't need to worry about things bouncing around because everything's really padded and all of the equipment that I have is pretty rugged anyway. But at the top I have my main body with whatever lens I've been using or I plan on using attached to it. So all of my lenses being attached to the camera can go in this top bit apart from one, which I'll mention in a moment. And you've also got top access into here as well. So that's why I have it right at the top, so that if I do need to get access, I can just go in through the top. There is also side access on both sides, but I don't really use them if I'm honest. Other people I know that have the same bag really do use those, and they'll have their camera in one of these sections here so that they can get it from the side, but I just prefer to be able to get it from the top. And my main camera, which you will probably have seen on previous videos, is the Sony a7R4A. So this is the updated one with the better screen on the back. At the minute it's got the Tamron 28-75 f2.8 on there, which is a relatively new lens and a lens that I'm really happy with. I've actually got an upcoming trip, and this is going to be the only lens that I take on that, so keep an eye out for that as well, because I will be doing a video while I'm there. With regards to the A7R4A, the reason why I got it was basically down to sensor size. So I do a lot of weddings and I do a lot of product photography where those images may need to be blown up and made larger, and having such huge resolution files, you get the best of both worlds. One is that you can print these out absolutely huge without getting any real loss of quality, and the other is if you need to crop into an image, because the image size is that big, you can crop in and you still get a very good quality picture. So really like that. I've shot Sony for years now, always been really happy with them. It's entirely down to personal preference. I've shot Canon in the past, I've shot Nikon in the past, but at the minute I'm just really happy with Sony, with both the bodies and also the lens lineup that they've got as well. So A7R4A and the Tamron 28-75. This really is a great run and gun lens. f2.8, so it's nice and fast. It's super light and relatively compact, as you can see. 2.8 throughout the range, and at the last couple of weddings that I've shot with this, I've not taken this off of one of my camera bodies all day. Really useful, and it goes just wide enough for me at 28, and obviously goes all the way into 75 as well. The next lens that I've got here is just the Nifty 50. So this is the Sony 50mm f1.8. I use that if I need shallow depth of field wider than the other options that I've got. So it goes down to 1.8. What hasn't been said about Nifty 50s? They are the perfect lens to start with, but if it's going to be your first prime because of the price point. But I've had this as long as I've shot Sony now, which is probably 4 if not 5 years, and I will never get rid of this lens. For the money, it's one of the best value lenses that you can get, and that the same thing applies with Canon's version, with Nikon's version. You can't not have a Nifty 50. Down here I've got rocket blower for cleaning. I've also got, oops, I've just took the battery back off of it. I've also got my wireless trigger for my flash gun. And then in here I've got step-up rings, filters, more filters, and then I've just got this that has my memory cards in. So it keeps them all together, keeps them all safe. It's absolutely bomb-proof, this. It was cost next to nothing off Amazon, and it just means that I keep all my memory cards in the same place. What I did when I first got this bag is I put them in one of these, and every time that I'd forgot to zip it up, I'd open my bag like this and memory cards would go all over the floor. So keeping them organised is definitely something that I'm a fan of now. Next up we have this. Now this actually came with the bag, so it does have a Velcro strap on the back, so you can attach it to the outer of the bag if you want to. But I just keep it here, and basically in here I keep my tether cable that you can see there, and wrapped up inside the tether cable is an external hard drive. So my hard drive and the cable for that is in here, as well as my tethering cable, and that means that I can tether anywhere that I need to. If I pop that to the side for a minute. Underneath here we have the only lens that doesn't fit on my camera when it's in here, and that is the Sony 70-200 f4. So this is the f4 version. I bought this when I first switched to Sony, when I got the a7 III, and I'll never get rid of it. I can't justify the price increase to go from this to the f2.8. It's an extra £1,000, and I really can't justify it for 2 stops of light. Not when you've got the low light capabilities of all of the cameras that I've got. And yes, I know Sony fanboys love to talk about low light. That's the only time I'm going to mention it, I promise. But yeah, it's a great lens. I use it for everything. I use it for portraits, I use it for landscape work, I use it for product photography. But the main thing that I use it for is at weddings. Having that 70-200 gives you that reach, so you can really capture people without intruding on their personal space. It's great for candids. Yeah, I just adore this lens. If there was only one lens that I could keep, it would be this one, because it's phenomenal. So pop that back in there. Oh, that's the wrong way around. There we go. Pop that in there. Pop this back in. I also love how that fits just on top of there. Next up we have in here the Sony 90mm macro, the f2.8. This lens is #1 for product photography. Obviously because it's a macro lens, allows you to get super close, allows you to keep super sharp details, and this combined with the huge sensor size of the A7R4A means that you can get phenomenal product shots. You can crop right into them if you need to get those details, and it's a great portrait lens as well. I previously used to have the 85mm lens. There is a video that I did on that, it'll be up here somewhere, but I replaced it when I got this because I was doing more product photography, but I can still use this for beautiful portrait shots as well. It's great focal length, and also for beauty shots you can get really close to the model as well and still keep really nice compression, so you get a lovely shot of the face. Underneath here we have flash gum, so I'll pop this down. Now I mentioned this in my last video again, where I talked about my wish list for this year, and I am looking at getting the Aperture A10. At the moment I just use this Godox TT685. Apologies, my dog has come to say hello. Good boy. So yeah, TT685, pretty standard flash unit. Obviously I can use it on camera or off camera because I've got the trigger for it, but yeah, standard flash unit, never let me down. Great for weddings or any indoor events really. So that just sits underneath here. Pop that back on. And then finally we've got Old Faithful, my Sony A7 III with the battery grip on there. This was my main camera for a long time, and the only reason I replaced it was because of the things that I mentioned about the A7R4A with the bigger sensor size, especially when they upgraded the screen on the back of it, because that is one thing that's not great with this. The only reason why I would get rid of this is I'll probably get an A7 IV when the price comes down, just because of the extra video capabilities, because I do some video and obviously I shoot these videos as well. But when it comes to a backup body or a second body for weddings, I know for a fact that I can trust this, and I have done for years now. So yeah, when I'm shooting a wedding I will normally have the 28-75 either on the A7R4A or on the A7 III, and then depending on what I'm shooting I'll either have something shorter or longer on the other camera. And that takes me to my last lens here, which is the Zeiss 16-35 f4. Use this for a lot really, for wide angle group shots at weddings. I use it for getting interesting angles when shooting fashion or portfolio images where you want to have more environmental portraits. Again, I couldn't justify the extra cost to go to the G Master, which is probably about an extra 1200 quid, something like that. This gets great images. It's been absolutely battered, and other than a few cosmetic marks, nothing's touched it. It's like an absolute tank, this lens. So if I do need something wider than the 28mm on the Tamron, I'll put on the 16-35, and that's the reason why I didn't feel the need to go for either the Sony or the Sigma when I was looking for this lens, because I don't need to go any wider than 28 because I've got the option here as well. And that is everything inside. Fold this back up. As I say, it's not normally this packed and this heavy unless I'm shooting a wedding. Also, we've got two side pockets on here. Nothing really of much interest in either of these. I've just got a multi-tool on this side and a packet of tissues on this side. Not because I get emotional at weddings, but more because I have allergies and I'm always getting colds as well, so having some tissues on me always helps. Plus, at weddings, it's good to have a packet of tissues because you never know when somebody's going to start crying. Other than that, that's everything. So there will be things that I take to certain shoots that don't go in my camera bag. So things like lighting, stuff like that. I may take my external flash unit to weddings. So rather than just a small on-camera flash, I've got the newer Vision 4, which is a strobe light that you can use. I'll take that, I'll take a C stand, and I'll take an octobox, an umbrella octobox as well, that I'll set up, so I can set that up for outside portraits or even inside portraits as well. But obviously that doesn't go in my camera bag, so that doesn't go in this video. In terms of plans for what goes into the camera bag next, I've not really got any. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm really happy with my setup in terms of bodies and lenses, and other than kind of accessories and the aperture flash unit, there's not really anything that I feel the need to upgrade at the moment. I'm really happy with the setup, and I am guilty and have been guilty in the past of buying gear just for the sake of it, and I always regret it. So this year I'm going to try and be better with that. I don't know how that will go, but I am going to try. But other than that, pop that down. That's it for today's video. I hope that you've found that interesting. As I say, there's been a lot of changes since the last time I did this video. I think the 70-200 and the Sony a7 III are the only things that have survived since the last time. So yeah, hopefully this bag will stay pretty much the same for quite a while now. And as I say, depending on the shoot, different things will go in and out of it, but that's pretty much what I'll take on the majority of shoots. Hope that you've enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments what your favourite item in your camera bag is, or what you're looking at to add to your camera bag this year. Do all the things like liking, subscribing, sharing, they make a huge difference. And in 2022, I really want to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. We are just under 800 at the minute, I think about 770, something like that. So to hit 1,000 this year would be amazing. Other than that, thank you for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.